TMZ is reporting the wife of Ravens safety Earl Thomas held a gun to his head after learning of an alleged affair.
A loaded gun pressed to an NFL star's head, a bride who walked away hours before saying "I do," a fiancé who found out live on camera. These 5 players thought nobody was watching when they cheated on their partners. They were dead wrong, and one of these stories ends in handcuffs. Ronnie Stanley. So, we start with a man who had everything lined up. Ronnie Stanley got drafted 6th overall back in 2016, and he turned into one of the best left tackles the Baltimore Ravens had, the kind of player who protects the quarterback's blind side and gets paid serious money to do it. Off the field, he had a woman named Emily Cooch, the sister of influencer Allison Cooch, and the two of them met on Tinder and stayed together for the better part of a decade. But it was never smooth. He had cheated more than once earlier in the relationship, and they worked through all of that and got engaged in 2021 anyway. Then the trust started cracking again. There was a surprise second bachelor party she only found out about while she was packing his bags. There were arguments about a prenup, and there was a rehearsal dinner where she sat there visibly upset. By the time the wedding day came, she was already carrying a heavy feeling in her chest. And here is the part that still gets people. She was fully dressed, hair done, makeup done, looking like $1 million, and she walked into the room to see him one last time before the ceremony. That is when she knew.
Love was not in the room with us.
She asked him right there if they should cancel, and he agreed. It was probably best. But then he turned around and kept the whole reception going without her, which she later saw in photos online. When she finally told her side on her sister's podcast, she put it plain.
I'd rather walk away from something knowing that I chose myself than to spend the rest of my life not being loved the way that I love somebody.
They are not together anymore. Ryan Shazier. Next up is a story that hurts a little different because this man already survived something most people never come back from. Ryan Shazier was a 2-time Pro Bowl linebacker for the Pittsburgh Steelers until a spinal cord injury on Monday Night Football in 2017 ended his career and had everybody praying he would walk again. He fought all the way back, retired in 2020, and through all of that, he had a wife named Michelle who stood right next to him. They married in 2019 and had a son named Lion that same year. So you would think that bond was unbreakable. But in late November of 2023, Michelle got on Instagram and posted, then deleted, a set of messages she said were between Ryan and another woman named Marie. And these were not little flirty texts. They were explicit, and they even included him recommending certain books that we cannot fully read out here. One commentary show broke the whole thing down and got to the part about the books he allegedly sent.
Few days later, he sent her some books. He sent her The Ultimate Guide to Anal Sex for Women.
In her caption, Michelle called him a liar and a cheater who betrayed the wife who had been there for him since day one. And you already know what she meant by that. The woman who held him down through the injury and the rehab. The post spread fast through NFL circles. Ryan did not get into the details. He told TMZ that the two of them had already been living apart and were separated, and he asked people for privacy and for their prayers. Then, in January of 2024, he filed for divorce. A marriage that lasted about 4 years was over, and it ended out in the open for everybody to see. Cody Ford. Now this one happened almost in real time, and that is what makes it wild. Cody Ford got drafted in the 2nd round in 2019 by the Buffalo Bills, bounced through Arizona, and landed with the Cincinnati Bengals, where he became one of those steady offensive linemen who can play a few spots. He was engaged to a TikTok influencer named Tiana Robillard, and he had proposed around April of 2024. She had already forgiven him for cheating once before, about 6 months into the relationship, and she chose to keep building with him anyway. Then came June. Tiana was sitting on a TikTok live, talking to her followers, telling them how excited she was about her future, when one of her regular moderators slid into the chat with something that did not sit right. She brushed it off at first. A few minutes later, the same girl came back, and this time it was not vague at all.
A message that your ex is cheating on you, and I don't know what to do about it.
So she quietly got off the live and started digging, and once the screenshots came through, the floor fell out from under her. She got the receipts and packed up within about a day. Her girls came over that night and helped her load the car, and she was gone before he even made it back home from his football work. She later told the whole thing on Alex Earl's podcast, how her gut had been talking to her on a girls' trip in Paris, how the public exposure hit her, and how she made peace with walking away, even with the ring already on her finger. Cody never really addressed any of it. The engagement and the wedding they were planning just ended. Fast. Delaney Walker. Let me take you back a few years for this one, because before social media drama was a daily thing, Delaney Walker was living it. Walker was a reliable veteran tight end who spent his best years with the Tennessee Titans from 2006 through 2017, the kind of player who did the dirty work and earned Pro Bowl respect late in his run. He had a fiancée named Racine Lewin, and the two of them had been together for nearly 10 years. By early 2015, she was 4 months pregnant with their daughter, and then Valentine's Day came around. Most people are buying flowers and chocolate. Racine, on the other hand, hacked into Delaney's Instagram account and posted a long public message for the whole world to read. In it, she accused him of cheating over and over, and she said he had a pattern of breaking up with her every February during the off-season. Her reason for why he did it was brutal. According to her post, he told her she no longer looks good enough for my image now that he was a celebrity. And then, because she was airing all of it at once, she dropped the news that nobody outside the relationship even knew yet, writing, "Surprise Delaney, you are having a girl," before the whole thing got taken down. She later said she regretted hacking the account. And you can understand why, because that is a lot to put out there while you are carrying a child. The two of them never got back together. They co-parent their daughter now, but they are not a couple, and there were more accusations that surfaced a couple of years later involving other women. A private heartbreak turned into a very public one, all on the one day that is supposed to be about love. Earl Thomas. And we saved the heaviest one for last, because this is the story where somebody almost lost their life. Earl Thomas was a 3-time All-Pro safety and a key piece of that famous Seattle Seahawks defense they called the Legion of Boom, and later on he had a short run with the Baltimore Ravens. He was married to a woman named Nina, and in May of 2020, everything between them blew up in the most dangerous way you can imagine. The way it was reported, Nina used phone tracking apps to find exactly where Earl was, and she brought another woman along with her. When she got to the spot, she allegedly found him and another man in a room with other women, and that is when she went to a place there is no coming back from. She pulled out a loaded 9mm and pointed it at his head from less than a foot away, and police said her finger was on the trigger with the safety already off. Earl managed to wrestle the gun away from her before the worst could happen. By the time officers showed up, there was a gun and a knife in the mix, and the body cam footage that came out later showed just how heated and out of control the whole standoff had gotten. Nina was the one who ended up getting arrested that night. The two of them divorced soon after, and out of all 5 of these stories, this is the one that crossed the line from heartbreak into police reports and weapons charges. Earl has spoken in general about his personal struggles over the years, but he has kept the details of that night to himself. And honestly, after a gun gets held to your head over an affair, you can probably understand why a man would rather not relive it. So there you have it, 5 NFL players who looked like they had it all locked down, and 5 women who decided they were not going to be quiet about it. Some of these ended with a canceled wedding, some ended with a divorce filing, and one ended with somebody in the back of a police car. If a story like this is your thing, do me a favor and hit that like button, drop a comment telling me which one shocked you the most, and click on one of the cards on your screen so you do not miss the next one. We out.